Welcome back to the Roadside Rescue YouTube channel. I'm Ernest, and on this episode, you can tell it's raining outside. It's a pretty nasty day, so I figured I'd make some videos. And the first video I want to make is about the tools you should save money on. So I'm going to go through the tools that I used last year that I think were the best bang for the buck. And I'll make a future video about the tools you shouldn't try to save money on. Let me know in the comments down below tools you think fit in either category. To kick it off, I'm going to talk about just like a generics 300-piece mechanics tool set. I pulled this out because it's a great way to visualize that. You see the big box over there. But when we're talking about sockets and stuff, when it comes to finding a nice 300-piece toolkit, let me tell you my recommendations. Make sure you get one with sockets that have 6 points in it. It's okay if they have 12 points too, but make sure they at least have 6 points. Deep, shallow. And make sure the toolkit isn't filled up with a bunch of tiny bits. It should have extra bits in it. But really, when you need an atypical bit, you should probably get a different set for those. But I think rather than buying a really expensive ratchet and some really expensive sockets somewhere, you're way better off buying a nice 300-piece toolkit with a lifetime warranty. It's going to have way more sockets than you need. And you can always get extra wrenches too. I wouldn't recommend getting the expensive ones though. A brand I like is Gear Wrench. I have one of their ratchets, it's the best feeling. And if I get more, I'm planning on getting some Gear Wrench. They make a nice 300-piece toolkit as well, and you can buy that on Amazon. I like to get a lot of my tools at AutoZone because I'm there almost every day. So if I have a tool break or something, I can just warranty it out right there. A next tool you should save money on, and this is gonna represent a classification of tools, are specialty tools that you only use every once in a while. If you use a specialty tool all the time, then maybe you could consider buying the nice one, but if you use a specialty tool every now and then, don't get the cheapest one, but don't go for the most expensive one either. And this is an impact driver I got at the hardware store. You can get them online or whatever. Again, if you find one for 10 bucks, it might be a little sketchy. Just get a nice $20, $30 one. Here's an unexpected tool from the list, a torque wrench. This isn't actually a torque wrench, it's a torque meter. I use this like a torque wrench. It costs a lot less than $100, and most torque wrenches cost well over $200. Well, this digital wrench I can put all the way on the end of my extension, right up against the socket, so I know how much torque I'm getting right on that socket. 1/2 inch or 3/8, I have both, and I use these all the time. So these AC Delco torque meters, they have a bunch of different modes where you can measure peak output, or you can just have it beep when you reach a certain torque. So I use these rather than torque wrenches all the time. The next tool I think you should save some money on is a nice jump starter. Now I know I'm holding up one of the biggest and probably one of the more expensive ones. You can get jump starters that are a lot smaller. I have some. I just happen to carry the big ones with me because I use them all the time. But there's some expensive brands of jump starters out there, particularly if you go to the auto parts stores. My recommendation is to find some of the brands online that have good reviews and to get one that suits your needs. But you can get them for well less than $100 online. The next one's kind of surprising as well because I wouldn't normally suggest you save money on diagnosing tools, but this is a brand that I've been using for a long time, and I use these tools every time I do diagnosing. They're not expensive, and they do a great job. This is an all-tool brand. This is a power probe that I use to diagnose almost anything that has an electrical issue, alternator starters. Here's a battery tester. It'll print out the data. And while you can get some more expensive power probes and stuff, these work awesome. So that's a brand I would recommend looking into if you're looking at getting some cool diagnosing stuff. I'm not getting paid to show any brands in this video. The next thing we'll move on to some tools I got at AutoZone. These are tools that I'll just mention I got at AutoZone, but you can get pretty much anywhere. I think are worth not getting the cheapest ones. For example, when it comes to extensions, I think like when you get a bunch of hand tools and stuff, again, you don't always have to get Snap-on. I'll just go ahead and say it. But when it comes to like Harbor Freight brand extensions, for example, when I have a bunch of extensions stacked up like this, almost always the first one to break is Harbor Freight. So I get extensions and stuff like that at the auto parts stores. And I do the same thing with my impact sockets. I'm not saying don't go to Harbor Freight for those. I have some Harbor Freight impact sockets as well. But I am saying hardware stores carry great quality tools. I have some of these screwdrivers as well that are diamond coated on the tip. Like I said, go somewhere that you go often, because if you ever have a problem and you have to warranty it, you're already going there. Or somewhere that's convenient. The reason I brought out this screwdriver is because it's my most expensive screwdriver and it's the only one I have that's bent. I use it all the time though because it has sentimental value. It used to have a little rubber cover over the handle. I bought it whenever I built that bus a few years ago and we were traveling cross country and it developed an oil leak. I was doing some prying around with this. I needed to pry open the oil pan because it was leaking. Get some form of gasket up in there. And this was the screwdriver I had to buy. It was like a $50 screwdriver out in the middle of nowhere. So that was my point. Don't buy the expensive screwdrivers. They don't work any better than the normal priced ones. In fact, I know Project Farm recommends the Craftsman one. This is about the only one I have left of my ancient set, but he always recommends this as a good set. Alright, the next one I'm excited about. These pry bars you can get at Walmart, this Hyper Tough brand. These are built by Wild. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Let me know in the comments down below. They have a strikeable end cap. They're like $20, $30 a piece. And you can see it right there, made in the USA. So that's the cheapest place to get these pry bars. 100% recommend if you're looking into getting some pry bars. Check out the Hyper Tough from Walmart. And again, I'm not knocking any particular brands. I get a bunch of stuff at Harbor Freight. One of the things I'd recommend is hammers. Harbor Freight has a lifetime warranty. The hammers you get at Harbor Freight are going to last a long time, and if they ever break, they've got a lifetime warranty. But in my experience, you can use these for several years before they break, so that's why I recommend getting cheap hammers from Harbor Freight. Well, let me know what I missed in the comments down below. I'm excited to make a video about the tools you shouldn't save money on, like these Nip-X pliers. Let me know in the comments down below the tools you wouldn't save money on. I've got a whole bunch of those. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, you gotta make sure you're subscribed. Leave this video a thumbs up. Check out the next video up here. I'll see you there.